It's cold.
My feet are, it's my beanie. I'm like, okay. This is just another mic check. Mic check! Yo, what wiggity 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 whack? Do you want to get close? No, to me. No.
Wait, were you serious?
No, I kind of wanted to see how close you were to the mic. Just do something. Say something. I'm giving up on you. Oh my god, that doesn't work.
No, I have to do it every week, man.
Okay.
Okay. Morning's here.
Morning's here. Sunshine is here.
I'm not singing those.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Super Brady podcast, the only podcast on the internet where two blokes talk movies, TV shows, comic books, superheroes, and
the
everything.
only podcast on
Yeah,
the internet.
I'm making it right here, right now.
Right now.
I'm making that statement. The Super Brady podcast. I'm your host, Pastor Innocent, also known as Super Brady. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Kahan Martin. How the bloody hell are you?
I'm cold, man.
It's very cold.
Freezing.
Sorry for the missing week. Don't know where it went.
Yeah.
It's literally been a week. I came over here last week.
Yeah, and I wasn't here. I was at work.
Mm-hmm. And then
we didn't do it.
We didn't do it. And I've actually been at his house the whole week.
And we still
We
haven't
didn't
done it.
do it. We're doing it now. Let's just get straight into the news because you have to be somewhere one day.
Yes.
You've got work later, so let's get started into this. Because this is my job. Or as like my brother likes to call it, not a real job. Let's talk about some DC news because, DC fanboy.
Yep.
Aquaman.
Yes.
Aquaman had some Aquaman had some photos released.
Yep.
Over the few weeks back. There's also a trailer was shown at one of the festivals, but we
haven't seen
to see it on the interweb.
On the interwebs.
But Aquaman photos look pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've always. Yeah. I don't know. It's cold.
Wow, I was waiting for a philosophical.
I was gazing out the window at this car that was driving by.
I've always believed.
No. I mean, it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I say that word way too much on this podcast, but like I was talking about this the other day that I think it could be a really fresh superhero movie.
Yeah.
You know, like we've seen like 2 world wars, you know, and Wonder Woman and Captain
First
America.
Avenger, yeah.
We've seen different aspects of the modern world.
Yeah.
You know, throughout the Avengers films, and they take place in different countries, and just
We've seen space with Guardians.
Space, you know, and we've seen friendly Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Hood.
Spider-Hood. And we've seen everything in between, but we really haven't seen like underwater movie.
Yeah,
like,
no.
If that makes sense. You know, and so just I think the scenery alone would make it a fresh film. But
Absolutely, yeah.
you know, it's also kind of a almost like I like Sword and Shield movies. You know,
Right,
like,
we
and
know.
like
We're doing an episode eventually, but you're a huge
yeah,
fan of Lord of
yeah,
the Rings.
yeah, stuff like that.
things like
And like the kingdoms and destiny and stuff like that are like big parts of features in those kinds of storylines and whatnot. And because Atlantis is like an old kingdom, and you know it will have those kinds of storylines mixed into it. And like Aquaman, I don't know from comics, I don't know if he was resistant to becoming king of Atlantis.
Depending on what one you read, there are definitely stories where that happens.
So that's obviously been explored before, but to see it, I assume that it's more ingrained in the story than would be for like say Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. You know, because Wonder Woman, we're introduced to her and she's like the princess, but she wants to leave.
Yeah.
You know, like him, if it's an origin story, or maybe it's just something that he continues to struggle with, you know, or just his destiny, his role, you know, because he's Taika Waititi, you know, Timur Morrison is in this, and he's his human father, and you got the mermaid mother in this, and
it's a good that sort of story is something we've seen before, you know, with Spock in the Star Trek films. With
so we've seen it before, but not in a superhero context.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And I think it has, you know, just the concept alone is fresh, but to really make it happen, you know, obviously it's got to have a good creative team behind it.
James Wan, as a director who I've been quite fond of, his work in the horror genre alone has been phenomenal, but also Furious 7, I would say, not as good as I think 5, but I did still really enjoy it.
You haven't seen 8 still, eh?
No, 8 I haven't seen.
You haven't seen 8 yet.
No, but the street always wins.
It's like my favorite line from that franchise.
Oh my god, so stupid. Mine's I'm in your face. We need to do a Fast and Furious episode.
I just love how he just stomps the floor and like the whole car park just cracks.
But yeah, the Aquaman film, what interests me is, of course, Aquaman's been a butt of a joke for a very long time.
Yeah.
A guy who talks to fish. But what Justice League did, it really brought a very, like, you cast someone like Jason Momoa who, you know, Game of Thrones and that sort of dominating presence. He's a huge dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's
Conan. He was Conan.
Exactly.
In that,
in those reboots.
In that reboot that no one liked,
no.
except me.
You can't replace Arnie. But you know, for a guy like that to take on that sort of role, you know, and there are other places like the Injustice games from the two recent ones. You know, Aquaman's a cool character in that, in my opinion. But
it just feels like
and the
he
Justice
kind of felt
League
like Captain
show.
America in that.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
He is very patriotic in those games.
Yeah.
This
is just straight up badass.
He is, but the Justice League show from the thousands, he's very protective of the sea. You know, if you know he's attacking humans for polluting it.
Yeah.
You know, he's very defendant on Atlanta, but that's after he's been crowned king.
Yeah.
So this Atlanta,
the state.
Isn't that a...
It's Atlantis, yeah.
Atlantis. I said Atlanta.
You said Atlanta. I'm like, king of Atlanta.
The Arctic, man. No, but yeah, Atlanta. The state. Yeah, no, but yeah, so, yeah, and it's got a great cast, like you said. Timothy Morrison's in it. It's good to see him not playing Clone Trooper. Nicole Kidman's in it. Johnny Depp's wife, Amber Heard.
Ex-wife.
Excuse my French. Ex-wife playing Meta, who's another great hero.
Isn't she actually French?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Also, the main villain's been played by Patrick Wilson, who has been in other horror films. But he's really got a nose, and it's cool to see him play a villain.
Is him and James Wan going to be like the new like duo?
Yeah. It could be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like DiCaprio
but
and
it's like
what's his face?
What's Scorsese?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of that. But also, that he's the main. I can't remember who he's playing. But also, you've got Black Manta, who is the popular Aquaman villain.
Yeah.
But he's sort of got like a minor role, like building him up. Yeah. Which will be also quite cool to see for future installments.
Yeah.
And if they're going to do the League of Doom or whatever.
Yeah.
Bringing in villains like that. You know, if that goes, we'll talk about those DC films in a bit.
In a second.
But no, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
I will buy a moon. Wonder Woman had, I knew it was coming, but then out of nowhere we got a title and we got some set photos and all sorts. So Wonder Woman sequel, 1984, will be out.
Just before we start,
I
like the title.
1984?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's
not Wonder Woman 2.
They've put...
Get on the bus.
Like, they've put titles, like numbers and titles, like years and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying that other ways, like, weird or wrong or anything like that. Yeah. But, you know, like, if you just think, like, this, it's like Iron Man 2 or Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just cool seeing Wonder Woman 1984.
I like, Blade Runner had that similar feel with that sequel. What I'm quite interested to see with this film, so we obviously have the return of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Chris Pine is back as Steve Trevor.
Yes.
But how does it happen? And also,
I didn't see a parachute.
Yeah. But Kristen Wiig is in this film playing Cheetah, who is one of the Wonder Woman's sort of arch nemesis. Yeah. Aside from Ares, which I'm excited for. Firstly, Kristen Wiig is a great comedic actress, but also she's proven in the past films like The Martian to be quite good at her serious roles. Yeah. So this is quite it's similar to Harley Quinn, if it's the right cheetah, where it's a doctor first who sort of gets,
and another A-lister who's just jumped onto the superhero train.
Yeah, I know. But no, I'm excited to see how this film plays out. Also, I think being based in 84, it's quite nostalgic for how, you had Superman films out in that era as well. Yeah. And I talked about this in my Wonder Woman review, how this character Wonder Woman is almost the Superman for these young girls of the 21st century. You get these people growing up, it's girls, but also guys can look up to a character like Wonder Woman. And to have it based in the 80s, I thought it's kind of a nice nod to what Christopher Reeves pioneered as Superman in the 80s. So, no, I'm excited for this as well. We'll get into this in a second, but
I didn't say with the Aquaman, but I'm cautiously optimistic about the Aquaman. Like, I'm excited for it. Yeah. But I'm also cautiously optimistic with the Wonder Woman. I'm just excited for it. Yeah. Because we've seen Wonder Woman done right.
Yeah, we have, and Patty Jenkins.
I'm just excited.
Patty Jenkins is back at the helm, and I'm depending on the franchise, I am cautious at times to have a creator come back for a second round. Yeah. with the superhero ones, not as much. Things like the Mission Impossibles and the James Bonds, I don't like directors coming back.
Oh, you like the change-ups?
I like the change up because I feel like it gives it a good vibe.
Yeah.
I have a similar feel with the Star Trek films.
Yeah.
As well.
Fair enough.
But people like James Gunn, who did 2 Guardians films. I argue Joss Whedon did 2 great Avengers films.
You like Age of Ultron, don't you?
I do like Age of Ultron.
I do too. I don't think it's I could say it's a great film. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just people put it below Avengers because Avengers did so much.
Yeah.
But the Russos as well with the 2 Captain Americas and now the Infinity War, they've done really well.
Yeah.
So I'm not hesitant for Patty Jenkins to return.
Yeah.
And saying that, Zack Snyder I didn't like his first go. So when he did later go, so I didn't like his go at Man of Steel.
Oh, you didn't like
so
Man
when
of
he
Steel?
did his later goes, I wasn't like hesitant. I was like, I already know how he's going, so I'll go into this film knowing that.
Yeah.
But I really like Patty Jenkins' route with Wonder Woman, so I'm very much excited for this.
Absolutely, and it's good to. I think it's good. Obviously it was good when they finally got one good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think it would do DC in a continual struggle a whole lot of good if even if Aquaman falls flat, if they get the second Wonder Woman movie and it's then they can say we've got a character that we know how to do, we've done it right, we've got a creative team that knows how to portray this character, and or at least Gal Gadot who knows how to play the character, and then it's almost like a fallback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, despite what you say about Iron Man 2, I think that Marvel probably viewed Iron Man almost in the same way. You know, in the expansion of a franchise, they chucked out the first 2 Iron Man films. The first one was good. The second one, depending on who you ask, was good or was
It was a bit of filler. Like I've talked about this before. It's kind of a filler film.
Yeah.
Because they planned out to do the first 2, Incredible Hulk and Iron Man, and then nothing in 2009, and they were planning, I think, probably till Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
But then they're like, we need to put a film in.
Yeah.
So it's very much a filler film.
Which kind of lends itself to what I'm trying to say is that they almost tried to get this Iron Man character right, so even if Thor and Captain America, they just fell flat, they had a character that they'd done right for a couple of films, and the films weren't terribly bad. In fact, one was really, really good, and it was almost like a safety net.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we could fall back on this character, and we can use this as a starting point to explore, and if we have to take it in a different direction, as long as this character's a part of it, we're safe.
Yeah,
at least in
absolutely.
some aspect. And I just think it would be very good, at least in the minds of whoever's involved in the DC universe, to have that character.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's why I hope that this Wonder Woman movie turns out well.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And and again, we're leading into these next few. We haven't had a DC film this year at all. We're getting We're getting Aquaman in December. So I'm very interested to see next year because we're getting Shazam as well, which is shaping up as well to be quite a unique film in its own right.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where a lot of these films from DC are going because you're getting a good mixed bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
Yeah. What are you scrolling through?
I'm trying to find that list of DC films, but before we get to the list of DC films, let's talk about a DC film.
Oh, okay.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto has been confirmed to be starring in his own Joker solo film. So here's the list. So yeah,
I'm actually kind of excited.
Okay.
Like, interesting take. I'm excited. I was one of the very few people, and by very few, I mean one and probably another person out there in the world somewhere.
Jared himself.
Yeah, Jared himself. Hit me up, buddy. That didn't put... first off, didn't mind the portrayal all too much. There was, let's say, he was eccentric.
Yeah.
And there was eccentricities. I hope that's the right word. That I didn't like. But for the overall part, I didn't mind the character.
Yeah.
And two, I don't know if other people do this, but like I don't solely put the blame on Jared Leto for his portrayal.
No.
Because anyone who knows anything about film, there's more than just the actor doing the acting part. There's directors
Editor,
and stuff
director,
like that.
producers in the background.
And just Suicide Squad, I guess from a technical point of view, it was just a hot, steaming mess. And
Hot, yes.
Yeah.
That Will Smith.
Yes. And that Jared Leto. I was just a
That
bit of a mess.
Joe Courtney. Cam Boomerang.
Yeah. But like,
El
obviously,
Diablo.
in this modern day world that we live in, where if you just say the word
Are
Star
you going
Wars,
philosophical?
no, no, if you just say the word Star Wars, Disney, animated Disney, DC, Marvel, and maybe Mission Impossible, you've probably got about half to 3/4 of the big blockbusters in the year.
Yeah.
You know? And so within these universes and these movie studios, whenever there's an outlier or just a really eccentric character or something that just really breaks the mold, like Leto's Joker, done well or right, I will acknowledge it for what it is.
Absolutely.
And even though it didn't come off the best, yet again, I didn't mind it. It's nice to see it have another go around.
Sure.
You know, and with another creative team behind it.
Yeah,
hopefully.
absolutely. Yeah, and think about this. I remember leading up to Suicide Squad, we were hearing all that shit of him putting condoms in bullet gain.
Yeah.
He was method acting the
Yeah.
hell out of it. I'm very mixed feelings about method acting.
Yeah.
I don't need to pretend I'm Abe Lincoln to play Abe Lincoln because I'm a good actor. That's right, Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's what I'm saying.
Come find me, boy. But like,
Hit him up.
Yeah.
Or just hit him.
yeah. But no, like I'm on the fence about that. But it felt like he was promised a very
lot more than what he got.
Exactly, yeah. And I think he was
Because I wouldn't. I mean, method's just for some people, but
Yeah.
I'm not an actor. But I wouldn't go method for what I got. If I was Jared Leto, I wouldn't go method to
For
the degree
what?
that we've heard for what he got out of the film.
absolutely, yeah.
And
exactly.
there was reports coming out of the film that he was upset with how little he was.
But
used.
also, you watch the press conference. So they do press conferences pretty much maybe 3 days before the film comes out, and maybe another 3 days after it comes out. And you see his initial ones, and he's still really excited, and you can tell he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
And straight afterwards, he looks like he's just been pissed off with the way he was sort of
Because
put in that film.
he's a very selective actor. Like,
Exactly,
he
yeah.
selects roles. Like the stuff I've seen him in has been eccentric to say the least. You know, I
Absolutely.
saw him in Requiem for a Dream, Blade Runner.
Yeah.
This he did a movie where he gained a lot of weight. I haven't seen that,
Right,
but
yeah,
he gained a lot of weight for that role.
He was in Matthew McConaughey's.
Matthew McConaughey's. Yep, he was in Fight Club back in the day.
Yeah.
So all those films that I've listed, to some degree, are unique and a bit different, and his roles in them are very different from the other one.
Yes.
Very different from his Fight Club role is very different from his Joker role. His Joker role
They're
is very
very
different.
dramatic. They're very character based. And
Yeah.
he hasn't done a buddy cop comedy yet.
Yeah, and
he hasn't done any voiceover animation shit.
And so, just make an assumption based of what I've seen of his career and just what I have seen of him, because I do kind of like his music, his band 30 Seconds to Mars, is that he selects projects that he has his artistic creativity to come from, and that he thinks that he can help the narrative through his performance.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And sorry, did I cut
No,
over
yeah,
you?
but it's like the thing of following. He had to follow in Heath Ledger's footsteps, which as time went on, Heath Ledger has become more and more It's been
Immortalized.
10 years, pretty much. It's been 10 years since he did that. Immortalized as that character. That is the up there with the greatest villains of all. It's up there with Hannibal Lecter and Dracula and Darth Vader.
While it's a completely different conversation, it is.
Yeah.
Did his death help that? But whether his death helped it or not,
was
the
still a
fact
great
is that
performance.
it is,
Yeah.
and that Jared Leto had to live up to that.
Absolutely.
Or at least try and go on par with that in a different direction.
Yeah.
And upon reflection, I thought he was, excuse the language, screwed from the beginning.
Yeah, in
But
essence, yeah.
it just seems like the creative team and the director and whoever put the movie together just did him wrong.
Yeah, it did.
And it'd be good to see him get another go around.
Yeah. Speaking of another go around, DC Movies, this is the guy, Levins on Twitter, who's friends with Mr. Sunday Movies, who I totally stole my podcast from. He posted a list of the films being announced by...
Inspired. Let's use the word inspired.
Inspired, sorry.
It makes us feel less cheap, and it probably helps him on the off chance he hears this.
Inspired,
Inspired.
But no, so he posted a list of a bunch of the films that have been announced by DC that have yet to follow in the footsteps. And the reason why I bring this up is because I swear to God I already heard a Joker film announced. I remember scrolling through Facebook.
I've heard all of these.
Yeah.
You know?
But I remember scrolling Facebook the other week when it was announced that Jared Leto was getting Joker, and I went, I know.
Yeah.
But then I Googled it, and it's because there's been more than one announcement of a slightly different. So let's go through them. We won't talk about all of them, but so far
do you want to talk about whether, like, just quickly, whether we want to see them or not?
Yeah, let's do a want to see. So Batgirl.
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yep. I'm more interested in if we're following old Bruce Wayne. I would love to see an Oracle version of Batgirl.
Yeah.
But I think.
So would you, if you want to see an Oracle version of Batgirl, would you be satisfied instead of a Batgirl movie, but like Matt Reeves' Batman?
Yeah.
The trilogy where it's supposed to be really detective focused and really gritty and down to earth. When instead of a Robin or a Nightwing necessarily, Oracle is just always in Batman's ear, and she features a heavy role in that.
Sure,
Would you be alright with
yeah, I would love that. I think, but I would love to see a Batman trilogy.
Yeah.
More detective based.
Yeah.
More Arkham feel.
Yeah.
The first one maybe has Batgirl.
Yeah.
And then the start of the second one, she gets turned into Oracle.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I
maybe
see
something
where
like
you're
that.
going with
But I think again, it's Affleck's in or out.
Oh yeah.
We'll do a good old fashioned. But no, I think if we go with Barbara Gordon,
yeah.
If we go with Jim Gordon's daughter, I'd be interested with that
I
dynamic.
wouldn't mind seeing.
Because that'd
like,
be bring J.K. Simmons in.
I'd like to see a Batgirl movie, but I wouldn't mind like a Batman movie with a very heavy Oracle influence.
Yeah, because
You know,
last time we had that, Arnie was there. let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey.
And that's a Batman.
That's the chicks, man.
Yeah.
Usually it's Black Canary, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and somebody else. Harley Quinn.
Just that sounds like another Suicide Squad.
Again, some of these films you can merge it all into one. Nope, I'm not saying it. Nightwing.
Yes, Nightwing.
Yep.
It's funnily enough, a lot of the Batman stuff I want to see.
Sure.
And because Batman has just been that property for.
He's led the charge in both main characters and secondary characters. I think.
I mean, he's just. You ask a person what a superhero is, they say Batman, probably, or Superman. You know, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Batman, Batman games. So like Batman's everywhere, and just like movies for me at least is like the ultimate platform for seeing these characters.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, you can get a lot out of a game, but just for a movie, for me personally, is.
Sure.
And so when Matt Reeves described his Batman trilogy that he has a vision for.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like. All these side characters, if it's really down to earth and it's very gritty, then and yet again, obviously everyone's mentioned it at least in terms with this is like the Arkham games.
Yeah.
You know, then all these opportunities come like Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, various Robins, Batwoman if you want to do it.
Absolutely.
You know, various interpretations of the Penguin, Joker, you know, and all this, and it just opens up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just. There's only so many characters you can fit into a trilogy.
Sure.
You know, but. Yet again, like with the Batgirl and the Nightwing, if they don't have their own movies, I'm alright if they're just heavily featured into the trilogy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm very interested in an established Batman.
Yeah.
No origin, an established Batman. But like, you think
I'd be more interested in an established Batman universe.
Yeah.
Than a DC.
EU in general.
DCEU in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just shove. You know, apart from Wonder Woman, because I can't talk trash about Wonder Woman because I just praised her. But everyone else, you know, and no matter how Aquaman looks
an
good
established
aside,
Batman universe, those characters are flying around.
Yeah, if you just do like a really well-established Batman universe, and like I'd be more.
Because it's Asylum that opens up, and he's taking Joker into Arkham.
Yeah,
you know that opening for me. We all know Joker. We all know that. You know, people like Killer Croc show up.
Yeah.
If you watch Suicide Squad, you know who Killer Croc is. So if he's in Arkham already, you know these characters who have already popped up enough over time.
Yeah.
Kids still, you know.
Yet again,
kids weren't born in the 80s.
Yeah.
But they would have. If they're a fan of the genre, they probably would have seen Batman Returns, Forever, Batman and Robin. Yeah. So they already know of these characters. You bring them in. Don't need to bring in a whole like. I was in my office and Batman swung in the window and threw acid on my face. Now I'm Two-Face. Flip a coin. Yeah. You know, you don't need to do that.
Yeah. But yet again, if that was my vision and that was my dream, and tomorrow DC's like, we'll do what you want, I'd have to get rid of Batfleck because obviously you're going to have a younger actor who's willing to portray this character for a very long time. You know?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bit of a wild tangent. I just went.
Well, it ties into the next few, which is Deathstroke, the Batman.
Yeah.
All these characters. You know,
Gotham City Sirens.
I loved the idea
Harley
of
Quinn.
doing a Arkham Origins. I think that's my least favorite out of those. Maybe Arkham.
I like
But I like that
Origins.
story with Black Mask and Joker and Deathstroke. You know, Deathstroke is your initial villain to fight Batman hand to hand.
Yeah.
But pulling the strings in the back is the Joker. I like that sort of story, and I would love to see that story, not a Deathstroke by himself, because we've seen a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
A version of Deathstroke
And
established
like
in Arrow.
yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
and you don't need. I mean, a good enough writer and team can establish a good villain within the narrative. It doesn't need a whole film to be like, this is a threat to Batman.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
can do it in the first. You can do it in the opening credits. You know,
Yeah.
it's done right. It's done well. There's two Flash films, a Flashpoint and The Flash.
The Flash.
I'm on the fence. I like I like elements of CW's The Flash.
Yeah,
I
don't like
have,
the CW's Flash.
I haven't watched the second half of season 4, which is just finished. I like Grant Gus's portrayal.
Yeah.
I wish he would sing more. No, like I like his portrayal. I wasn't. I wasn't a fan of Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
I just thought his running was obviously the butt of every joke. He got his quickness, and some portrayals. It's more Wally is quick
Yeah.
than Barry,
Yeah.
but a Flash film I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Again, when they were doing that for a while, I don't know if they're still doing it because Iris was initially in Justice League, but they deleted her scenes.
Yeah.
A Flashpoint film for me, although I'd love to see it,
Yeah.
don't rewrite all the shit you haven't done yet.
Yeah.
You can't rewrite a book that you've only on your second chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's this weird thing of like, I don't want to see that. I would
Yeah,
love
'cause
to see it,
it's
but
almost
not
like
yet.
admitting that DC was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Own your-
trash. That's
own your
really
trash.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do a bad movie,
Yeah.
you own it, you absorb it into
Like yeah.
the narrative, and you're like, it was a misstep, but we can go strong from
Like
here.
with Flashpoint, I would love to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne. You know, things, elements like that were in it. I would love to see that. But
Like, I wouldn't actually mind seeing a Flashpoint movie, but they don't use it as a soft reboot.
yeah,
Like the Flashpoint movie, the animated one.
yes, yeah.
That was good. Like he
Yeah.
went to an alternate universe, but he went back to his own at the end of it all.
Yeah, exactly. You could do that, and because the Flash TV show did it for 2 episodes at the beginning of the second season, and it was just not the Flashpoint. So,
I mean,
yeah.
the way we view it, the Flash, this possible Flashpoint movie, is that we've almost viewed it the way that we've viewed Civil War.
Yeah.
In the way that it's more like a collective movie. Like, oh, it's gonna be a soft reboot.
Yeah.
It's actually a Flash film.
Yeah, it is. It
You
is.
know?
There are elements of other characters, but
There are elements of other characters, but
it's a Flash
it is
film.
a Flash film, and I think like this event, the event of Flashpoint, could actually do it pretty good for the character of Flash.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit early, but still would do good.
Let's go through this real quick. Cyborg.
Nah.
Yeah, Cyborg just wasn't. I love Cyborg as a character.
Yeah.
There are some lines. There's one line in the film that I liked where he's talking to his dad.
Yeah.
He's like, "They see, all I see is a monster."
Yeah.
And then his dad was like, "Don't say that." He's like, "Funny how you thought I meant me."
Yeah.
And he was meaning his dad. I think that relationship with his dad is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But no offense.
You better move.
No offense. Yeah. No offense to the actor who I can't remember the name of at the moment because I saw online a Broadway show he did.
Yeah.
Really talented guy. Just boring as fucking in Justice League. It just wasn't boring.
Yeah.
It just wasn't entertaining. And if anyone saw the Teen Titans show growing up,
Yeah.
Cyborg's a really like cool guy. And Injustice
Yeah.
is another great portrayal. In the Injustice
Yep.
games, he's really well established. So notice that Gotham City Sirens again, Suicide
Solid.
Squad 2, Harley Quinn.
Yet again, it's that,
That
whole Batman
again,
thing.
either do a Suicide Squad sequel and introduce these other characters, or just singly do a Joker Harley Quinn film.
Yeah.
Don't have a bunch of these films flying around.
Yeah.
People get confused. Black Hawk is my most interesting one because this is about a pilot who's not a superhero.
Yeah.
It's just one of those DC comics that was just written back in the day when they ran out of properties. Steven Spielberg was attached to do this.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be in the DCEU. Just let's
Yeah, if it,
give
yeah.
it, give it
I
neat
think I said
little-
I've been excited for it or like the idea on the podcast. I
Yeah.
like the idea if it's not in the DCU.
Mhm.
You know, Like, don't be like
Period piece.
It's a second Steve Trevor or something like that.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like, have this good military person
Yep.
entangled in the whole superhero thing in just a weird way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just sell the
Sure.
property.
Sure.
Yeah.
Green Lantern. I want to see Green Lantern.
I do.
I do genuinely want to see Green Lantern, but again, Mr. Sunday said this. You know, there's a light bad taste due to Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds poking fun at his failed attempt at that. But I would like to see. There are some great Lantern characters. Sinestro is an awesome villain. I think you could go Hal Jordan, you can go Guy Gardner, you can go Kara Renner, you could go John Stewart. There are different options with that. But I would love to see other characters though. Martian Manhunter is a character that's yet to come up, which I'd love to see. Hawkgirl. But no to that. Lobo, hell no.
I don't see it.
Nah, I don't see it yet. And it's their attempt to try to be Marvel. You know, Marvel did it quite a few years later. They went to Guardians. They went over there. Taserface. And DC want to do it now.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, give it a
Don't
break.
have to come.
And then you got Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
Yeah.
Which, again, if you separate it from the rest of the universe, sure. But if you have too many Jokers wandering around, you're going to confuse a passing audience, which is a handful of dollars, which you won't get.
Yeah.
I like Joaquin Phoenix. Sometimes he's a bit too weird for me. You method actor motherfucker. I'm on the fence about that. I think just stay with Jared. Don't confuse your audiences.
Yep.
Just write a different story. Just write a Joker film.
Yeah.
Don't call him the Joker.
Yeah.
Don't paint his face. Do it because they want to do a crime.
Yeah. Like everything for some reason just these days comes back to Marvel, but. Like, I don't think...
Maybe it's because they just got $2 billion at the box office.
But of the original four superheroes...
From Marvel?
From Marvel, so, like, not Hawkeye and Black Widow,
but
Cap,
the other
Iron,
four. Yeah. Thor, Hulk.
Every single one of them has had a time with whether it be in their solo films or whatnot, where the character just hasn't been as strong.
Yeah.
You know, Iron Man 2, the character almost felt like... just the movie kind of felt... Like, I love it. I love Iron Man 2, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But just, it's undeniably the weak link in the Tony Stark storyline.
Yeah, it's got an underdeveloped villain. I think his struggle with...
I mean, it's a very good plot. Like, it is actually but it just felt rushed. And in the end, you know, just the product wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
Thor, I think his low point is Thor 2.
Yeah.
He was introduced. He wasn't the greatest introduction, but it was very much just, you know, it's like, oh, we'll see where it goes in the second film, you know, and that just kind of fell flat for me. Captain America, just for me, he just wasn't introduced the best. I like in the original Avengers, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
I just thought he was the weak link out of the four of them.
Yeah, in that first Avengers.
In the first Avengers film,
I like the first
He's
Avengers
gotten
film.
better.
I like his first film, but I think. Going from there to the Avengers, it felt weak.
He's gotten better over time. In fact, he's the only one out of the four of them that has had like a steady incline in story portrayal. And
like you've spoken about this before, you feel Tony Stark's more utilized in the Avengers films.
I think Tony Stark personally, I just think Tony Stark has 5 Marvel films.
Yeah.
I think he has his trilogy, and I think Avengers and Avengers 2 are very much. Almost Tony Stark narratives, but that's a conversation for a different day. And one there,
Civil War's also quite a bit of a film.
6 films. It's like a half and half film. So I mean, I've talked about that before, and Hulk obviously going into the Avengers, it was just like, I mean, because Abomination and Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, even though it's a different actor, it is still that Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, so and it gets into my point is that they've all had like. Points where either the movies haven't been as good or there's been doubt in the character whether they have, you know, the ability to be a main feature.
Yeah. And
so, but it's all worked out in the end. We love all those 4 characters, and we're absolutely shredded over the fact that they might die in the next one.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm telling DC, just stick with the leader.
Yeah.
You know, try another hand at the bat flick. You know, and just with these ones where you're like, I don't know, maybe not. You know, just
throw them away.
Just have another go. You're a big company, you know, just get a good creative team behind them and try it, and it probably will work out.
Sounds easy for us.
I mean, it sounds easy for us, yeah, don't get me wrong.
Just get a new Batman.
Yeah, just get a new Batman. But
There's a guy, Ben Affleck. He's quite good.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some trailers very quickly,
Yeah.
so we can get into our topic for today. Let's go Predator trailer. I am partially excited. Predator.
Oh, I love the trailer.
I am partially excited.
Yeah.
Partially hesitant.
I'm very excited.
I love the look of the design. I love the look of the design. I love the fact Shane Black is involved.
Yeah.
Because he was in the first one.
Yes.
He didn't write it or direct it, but he was in it.
in it.
But now he's an established writer, Lethal Weapon, The Nice Guys. But now he's in the
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, yeah.
I like
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
But no, I'm excited to have him in that helm, and people like Olivia Munn and Keegan Michael Key and Sterling Brown and the leader guy from Suicide Squad, RoboCop.
Yeah.
Him.
Oh, is he in it?
That's the guy. Yeah,
That's like one of my favorite actors.
what RoboCop.
RoboCop and the captain guy from.
That's him.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
That guy.
I love it. I love him, but I don't know his name.
Why don't you marry him? Yeah.
Actually, there's this TV show just for you guys out there called Altered Carbon. It's on Netflix. It's a really interesting concept. One that I cannot explain. Check it out. You'll know within like the first episode whether it is for you. But yeah, I think I've talked about it before.
It's a bit like me. Within the first episode of Fun for You. Yeah, no, I'm still excited. I'm just hesitant.
Yep.
With the return of these films from a decade ago.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always hesitant about. I love doing new properties. I think Aliens suffered.
Aliens, like the Aliens franchise.
The Covenant and
yep.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Prometheus.
I like Prometheus.
But I think the Aliens, Alien vs Predator was not. I have fun with it.
I like the
that
first
is you.
one.
That is a guilty pleasure film for you. I know.
I used to watch that on my portable DVD player all the time.
You were broke. With the Predator.
We had a DVD player. Don't get me wrong.
But you wanted to have some privacy. The Predator in 2010 was quite good. I actually genuinely enjoyed it. It was like a Jurassic Park feel to me.
Yeah.
You know, being stuck on an island.
Yeah.
With a predator. Yeah. Burning up
Different
that
predators
thing.
and whatnot. Yeah.
But no.
I just like I love the Predator property. I just love the look of the character, the feel of the character, all the potential ways you could go with the dynamic.
We talked about that with the our versus episode with him versus Macaulay Culkin's character from Home Alone.
Wins all the time.
Yeah.
But you know, there's very few characters that just for me, I'm willing to go watch a movie because of the character.
Right. Yep.
You know, very few. And by very few, I mean about 5 maybe.
Jesus.
2 of which I've already mentioned.
Right. Yeah.
So, and this is one of them, and you know, I'll give it a spin.
Yeah.
And I'll probably, and just because I've got that much faith in the character, I'll probably, as a whole, enjoy this more than most moviegoers.
Sure. Yeah.
But
the nostalgia and
the nostalgia and just, but you know, it's there's no red flags.
Right.
You know, and for me, that's just a big plus.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
yeah, I'm really excited to go see it.
I mean, I thought there was a bit too much of him in the trailer, but I don't know what the plot is.
Yeah.
I know what the plot is,
I saw 3 different Predators. That alone just makes me excited. You've got the regular one.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's the camera shot, but it just looks so sharp and sleek.
Yeah, they
and
do.
it was just
the
like,
designs look really
oh
great.
my god, that's an alien. Like you look at the originals, it's obviously prosthetics, but it lends itself. Like it lends itself to the look.
The realistic look on screen for prosthetics is flawless. Your brain doesn't pick it up.
But in this, you know, it just looks really sharp and whatnot.
Does. And I think it's both. I think it's a huge merge of both CGI and actual props.
And
but
there's that Predator. There's the really big one.
It's almost like Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Little Bear
stacked on top of each other, with the 7 dwarves on top of them.
Wearing a long coat.
And there's that other Predator that shouts, you know, and he's got like a reddish tinge to him.
Yeah.
But like those 3 alone, I'm gonna go watch the film. You know. So yeah, I'm excited to see it, and no red flags, which is a big plus.
Awesome. Real quick, Dumbo. I don't remember the trailer. I did watch it.
I do.
Was it good?
I don't mind it.
We had this conversation before.
It's good. I don't mind.
We had this conversation before. I'm not overly fussed about these redoing of these tales by Disney in live action.
Yeah, I like it.
I did enjoy Beauty and the Beast. I did enjoy Cinderella. I wasn't overly fond of the Jungle Book.
So you're 2 for 3 so far.
2 for 3, but I just don't like them.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, I think it's just this little bit of like, but what about the originals? What are you gonna do to them? You're going to take them away from me?
Yeah. I give it.
But we have an Aladdin film next year. We've got the Stumble film.
We've got a Mary Poppins coming up.
We do, yep.
We've got a Christopher Robin movie coming
We have the Lion King as well.
with the Lion King. But out of the two trailers that I've seen so that's Christopher Robin and Dumbo, I'm more excited for Christopher Robin.
Yep.
But this was like a very wondrous trailer.
Sure.
Like, it was just like you hit the sparkly music. If I remember it correctly, maybe I'm glorifying it. But it's like a Disney music. That's the only way I can describe it. And it's like broad shots of the circus, and you got a little bit of Dumbo in there, and you got some Colin Farrell because he's hot. I don't know.
Because it's hot.
You're gonna make it worth for like the mums who take it to the movie with the kids.
The mums go for Colin.
Yeah, and the kids go for Dumbo.
And the tweens go for Colin.
No, I go for Colin.
And I go for Dumbo.
But
Dumbo.
like it looks. Colin. Like it looks fine enough.
Yeah,
No?
Dumbo's also.
It's just the first trailer. So.
Dumbo's also quite dated. It's
Yeah.
one of the slightly older ones. So I think there's just think about it now. There is
feels in tune with the original.
sure,
Like just the feel of it.
sure, yeah,
Like
yeah.
if the original was modernized, I just think the feel,
Yeah.
there's a bit more, the color palette's obviously darker,
Right,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. And there's a bit more weight to it, seemingly. But I feel
Sure.
like this is a pretty good modern representation of what the original
Right.
would have felt like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a good point. But
So I got Greatest Showman vibes. Let's put it that way.
right, yeah, no,
Like in
yeah,
the
no,
sense
yeah.
of like the color palette and just it was a circus
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So
All right.
I'm pleased.
All I gotta say is Creed 2. You got me on the Rocky boat.
I did.
Then you didn't get on it for Creed,
No, I missed
and
that.
now I need you to go watch Creed.
Yep.
I'll wait.
Yep. Just stay in the water. I'll catch up in my little rowboat.
No, literally, right now I'm gonna sit here. You're gonna wait.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But this Creed 2 trailer, I'm so excited.
So excited.
Stallone's back writing it, which I thought he didn't write the last one. Ryan Coogler did. Ryan Coogler is not back as director or writer, which I'm
Did
okay with.
Stallone get an Oscar for writing or acting?
Neither. He didn't get an Oscar for
Oh, he
this
got an
one.
Emmy, didn't he?
He got a Grammy.
He got a
No,
Grammy.
he got a Golden Globe
Oh, he got a
for the acting in the last
Yeah.
one.
He got an Oscar for writing the original Rocky.
I think so, yeah.
And it was for writing the modern. His Golden Globe was for writing.
Golden Globe was for playing
Oh, it was for
Rocky
acting.
in Creed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
he's back at writing. He didn't write the last one.
Yeah.
He now back writing this one. We have the return of Dolph Lundgren.
yes.
With the return of
If he
obviously.
dies, he dies.
If he does, he does. Michael B. Jordan's back. Tessa Thompson is back. I said this to you yesterday or whatever. If I could work with two actors at the moment,
Michael B. Jordan and
Tessa
Tessa
Thompson.
Thompson.
They are phenomenal. I am in love with them so much, so I can't wait for this film. Stallone's back, and you know, we left where we left them off. I won't spoil
You're
it.
gonna go full crazy and
I
like,
won't-
pretend like you're good friends. You just carry around two balloons with their faces on it. I'm like, how'd you like that, Tessa? How about you, Michael?
He's true. No, but without spoiling anything.
I've already got the balloons ready at home.
How'd you know?
I saw them, man.
Oh, god damn it. Without spoiling anything for Crown Face over here. Don't worry. I'm trying to think of an insult.
Is this because of the acne? You bastard!
Dot to dot with my pimples.
But
Without spoiling
I
anything,
know,
without
can't spoil it because I know what happens.
You know what happens to Rocky?
Yeah, he's got cancer.
Yeah. So they left on the
Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yes, spoiler alert for a film you probably should have watched. Go watch Creed. It's really good. Go watch all the Rocky films. It's it. Oh, you can watch 5. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Kind of, maybe.
All right, yeah.
But you know, Creed and Adonis and Rocky have this sort of weird relationship going on. You know, Adonis doesn't have a father, but he's looking to Rocky for it.
Yep.
And then they sort of lie to each other in the last film.
Just side note, what a name to live up to.
Adonis.
Just Adonis. Screw the Creed. But Adonis.
It's quite a powerful
That's
name.
a powerful. It's like
A father's Apollo.
That's the epitome of man, right there. Adonis. Like that's
Michael is the epitome of man.
Oh, whoa. We got 2 balloons for him. But like just.
No.
Weird side note. What a hard name.
Yeah, no,
I
but,
could not pull off an Adonis.
But no, I think you need more abs. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited for Creed 2.
Yeah.
I'm cautious as well because, the more Rocky films went on, the more...
Like the core message of it was lost. Is that what
And and it was a bit more samey. You know, it was just like montage.
How many times can you run up those steps?
Yeah, exactly. You know, he struggled last time.
Yeah. You gotta walk.
You got to put one of those chairlift things in.
I don't think I'd be able to do that. Credit to Stallone. Like 30 years ago, I breezed up these steps. Now, I mean, I'm pretty sure Stallone could still run up them. Mm-hmm. But, like, he's at a point where, at his age, his character's like, I've got to walk up these steps.
Oh, yeah,
and
exactly.
stop halfway through.
But no,
Credit to Stallone for doing it.
I'm excited. The trailer didn't reveal much. Don't care. I don't need it. I'm going anyways.
Punches.
Yeah. Yep, let's have the trailers real quick because we're running out of time, I feel. We just are running out of life to do. We're at 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, what have we got? Let's say we got 20 more minutes.
Okay.
20 more minutes. Let's do that. Real quick, TMNT is apparently getting a reboot, but Michael Bay's still there.
Yeah.
Do you want another TMNT movie?
No, not at all.
All right. I love the characters. Don't love who's in control of them at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for them.
Fair
I just would go and watch it either way. And finally, there was Terminator. I had no idea this was happening.
No, neither did I.
Tim Miller, who did Deadpool, the first one, is now directing a Terminator 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a sequel to Genesis. But
what is it? It's.
I don't know
We've gotten
what
to
it
the
is.
point where it's not a sequel to something. It's a sequel to another thing. It's a prequel to another one.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off of another one.
I don't know where... But Arnie's back.
Where does this fit in?
Arnie's back.
Arnie's back.
And so is Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
She's looking pretty butch. She's got a bit of a military little look on her.
Well, she's fitter than both of us combined.
Yes, and she's probably... I think she's in her 60s, but she's still better than both of us. I love the fact that she's back.
Yeah.
Tim Miller proved himself to be quite successful with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Arnie's back. There's a couple of other... Mackenzie Davis is back. She's in it.
Yeah.
Gabrielle Luna's in it, who was in Rogue One. And somebody's playing young John Connor. Don't know what that's about. We enjoyed the Terminators. I remember binge watching them before.
Yeah, I love the first two. You like the third
I like the first three. I still think three is
I like
not as good, but it's good.
First one's my favorite. I like the second one, but everyone's like, oh my god. Judgment Day's the sequel now.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh my god, Judgment Day. It's like the epitome of Terminator. I just really like the first one.
Yeah.
The second one I like, but it's not as good as the first one in my mind. Third one's okay. Yeah. Fourth one, just put in a clip of Christian Bale just laying into one of the sick directors.
Oh right, yeah, the PA or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
The fifth one, nah.
Yeah, I was on the fence. I enjoyed it. I had fun seeing the opening bit. I really enjoyed.
I came out of the theater and I did not regret walking in. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Which is in my mind.
But you weren't overly excited being there, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that they're trying to subtly ignore 5 because you know how 5 was supposed to be the start of a new trilogy. The article that we just read it says 6 is supposed to be the start of a new trilogy. So.
But 5 trilogy's still going.
Yeah.
So like you just got these 2 trilogies going. Except they're all like oddly numbered, like 5, 7, 9.
3, 5, and 9.
Yeah. Oh my, who knows? I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'm a sucker for these sequels. Mm-hmm. Speaking of sequels,
Pirates of the Caribbean 8.
films
in
2018. We're not there yet.
Say that for the end of the year.
That's for the end of the year.
My answer's gonna be so different at the end of the year. I've been to the movies like 200 times.
Yeah, instead of last year when you went 0 times. Yeah, I went to the movie 200 times, but I never went into the theater.
Yeah, I just work there.
Popcorn's good.
Yeah.
You wanted to...
when I make it.
You spoke about this yesterday. You wanted to talk about Civil War.
Yes, Civil War.
Every
podcast I talk about Civil War. It's like I've got like a fetish for this film. But let me go down. Don't walk away from me, Paris. Just a brief overview. We're gonna start. Maybe we've got a couple movies each. Maybe.
I got a movie, but we'll just do that. We'll go until we think we've spoken too much, and you guys stop listening.
But these are just movies that we think are just.
They were well. Everyone loved them at the time, but in retrospect, they're probably a bit overrated.
Yep, overrated, or you just you know,
You didn't get it.
it's not necessarily overrated. Like, it is a really good film, but you just did not get it.
Yeah.
You know, not in an intellectual point of view, but you just didn't see the point of it. You know.
Sure.
And I'll go first.
Yeah, start with Civil War. Go ahead.
On this podcast, I've said that Civil War is one of my top 5 Marvel films, and I absolutely love it. And I do. Don't get me wrong; it is in my top 5, and it is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
and I think it's a really good film because it proses. I don't know if that's the word.
You need some sleep,
It
boy.
proposes a very good question, and I've always found that the good questions are when you can't disregard this other side.
Sure.
You know, when you have to acknowledge the other side.
Both sides of the argument have valid
and
points. Yeah.
at the end of the day, Civil War boils down to freedom versus security. You know, and both are very important things. It's just which one you value more, which you value more, and the other one you can't disregard.
Yeah.
And from that standpoint and that standpoint alone, and this in the movie obviously transfers to the Accords.
Yeah.
Very good.
Sure.
I absolutely get that. I went into the movie Team Iron Man, but also kind of expecting, but also not expecting to be middle of the road or Team Cap by the end of it because it was just a Cap film.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that they'd just make Tony Stark a bad guy, which I'm very glad they didn't. Another reason why it's a very good film.
Yeah.
But and I came out of the movie firmly an Iron Man person.
Sure.
And for this reason alone, almost an Iron Man person. Okay, I'm going to say that. Team Iron Man, sure. Like, I was Team Iron Man. Like, I do personally prefer security over freedom.
Yeah.
But I came out an Iron Man person more than a Cap person.
Yeah.
You know, because and the reason for this is
Well, if you're a Cap person, you'd be in the jail and the bloody under the water.
Is this alone is that this movie in its runtime made Cap almost the biggest hypocrite that I've ever seen in a film.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It just, you know, and I mean, it's an odd thing to say, and probably many people would disagree with me. You know, at least 5 of the 10 people listening.
Don't roast my viewership, boy.
But it's just his stance on the Accords is fine. You know, like he prefers freedom of security. Comes from a time where freedom was the most important thing.
Absolutely.
And in the modern day, and this is why I love the Marvel films, the person is shaped by the previous events. He went through the whole SHIELD thing. Hydra was SHIELD.
Yeah.
You know, so of course he doesn't trust authority, you know, and you can't fault the guy for it.
Yeah.
Just like you can't fault Iron Man for wanting to be held accountable
For everything he's done.
For everything he's done. Like he created Ultron.
Ultron, Whiplash.
You know, like he creates his villains, you know, and you know, this is him.
Everybody creates the thing they dread.
Yep. And
Directly
he
from
just
Ultron.
and so anyway, his stance on the Accords, that's fine. But he uses one line that just really kind of just gets my gear, is that he says something about agendas. These things are run by people who have their own agendas.
And agendas
What if
change.
agendas change? What if they say, we can't go there, or what if we need to we'll be there? Something along those lines.
Yeah, what if we go there? What if we need to go there and they won't let us?
Yeah, okay. He just accused of he's not going to follow someone because of their agendas.
Yeah.
He spends the rest of the film following his agenda with Bucky.
Does.
His agenda. He like the reason for the Accords is that 117 countries, the nations feel like they aren't safe, and in a modern day, that really works. Like there's nothing out there that can cross into another country.
Yeah. Ross defines it well.
Do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, under whatever guise, and it is a good thing. But do what they want to do, and leave again, not face consequences. In the States, there's 52 different states. If you commit a crime in one of them and you go to another, it's a federal crime.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's a good reason for the Accords taken into place.
Absolutely.
And it's just almost ignorant for, like Rhodey says, to arrogant or ignorant just to not acknowledge it. But anyways, Cap does his thing with Bucky, and whatever good intention there was behind it, don't get me wrong, there is. Like he just refuses to see the real world that he lives in, you know, and he just goes off and does almost everything he can to prove why the Accords are needed. And that he's
blew up an airport in Germany.
Yeah, he's just a bit of a hypocrite.
Kidnapped a child.
Yeah. And yeah.
By the way, I mean Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
there's not some weird deleted scene where he kidnaps a child. He calls
the kid from Iron Man 3.
He calls Wanda a kid,
Yeah.
and then he gets Hawkeye to take her.
Yeah.
Kidnaps a child. I dig a hole. Keep going.
Yeah. Like obviously I've just been talking unstop for like 3 minutes.
Alright.
But
Don't worry, no one's listening.
yeah.
Roast your back.
Yeah, since I started our 10 viewers went down to 2. And that's me and you.
Yeah, you're replaying it. It's so stupid.
But
Oh man.
like there's points in the film where Iron Man's like, well, amend these accords. You don't like them, but an amendment, for all those out there who don't know, is that it's not changing the law, it's just printing it. Changing the finer details.
It's equating it for the circumstances.
Yeah, it's like it's not getting it. It's almost like we're not getting a whole new set of accords. We're just changing the rules slightly to fit both parties a bit more.
Yeah.
He says that about Wanda, and like it's not necessarily the nicest thing, but like if what Tony says is true, the girl lives in America. She doesn't have a visa.
Yeah.
And she's essentially the equivalent of like a nuclear bomb.
They're harboring a fugitive who's also a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. And she just did what she did in Laos or whatever it is. Lagos, sorry. And so of course she can't be like going down the street wanting pepper cash or whatever she's hungry for.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so like everything like that Iron Man says or Tony Stark says makes sense.
Yeah.
And so when Captain America is like, "Oh, I'm not going to sign these accords now for this reason," you know, because you kept it locked in the room, so to speak. Mm-hmm. You know, it's almost ignorant and arrogant, you know, and then it's hypocritical, as I've said 50 times already, for him to do what he did after what he said. You know, and so in wrapping up, I love the film, I really do. And it is one of my top 5 Marvel films, but looking back, just the way that they've done it, you know, and maybe if they just did it a bit different, where they did the Bucky thing a little bit differently, you know, or maybe they just added a couple scenes of when, you know, when Steve Rogers was really tried to go to Tony Stark and be like, "Hey Tony, there's this stuff going on," you know, like when he sits down with the amendment and whatnot, and be like, and then if Tony Stark doesn't listen, then that's on Tony Stark, you know, kind of thing. But it's just like, but like in the airport scene, he's like, "There's more super soldiers." Just like, and I think Tony, maybe I could be remembering this wrong, is like, but that's not the priority right now. Like, there's people that's coming that just want to shoot you. You know, like that's the priority. You come in, and he had Bucky safe, and obviously the dude came in and screwed all that up. But it's been shown that they were going to deal with it in a sensible way. Yeah. But anyways, I love the movie. Yeah. I do. But just looking back, I can't help but be disappointed in the way that the two storylines just meshed together, because not ruined, because I can still appreciate it for what it is, but it just kind of tarnished one side of the story for me. Yeah. And that's, you know, it's why it fits in this almost criteria of what we're talking about, is that looking back, for me, slightly overrated. Yeah. And also, I feel like this conversation came up, spoiler alert now for Infinity War, but I feel like this conversation came up after you watched it, and really, and I understand for the context of Infinity War, the accords were irrelevant, but they sort of just brush over it. You know, he, pretty much, you know, Rhodey's standing there, he's talking to the general, and the general's like, you know, where is Vision? How did you get in contact? And then they rock up, all rock up, and he's like, "That's a court martial. They're gonna arrest him."
And then they high five each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they're like, "We're Avengers. We're Avengers." You know? Yeah. And I understand for the context of the film, you can't spend another 25 minutes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not working with you.
Steve, sign here.
Yeah.
Okay, Wanda, sign here. Yeah. By the way,
just initial this.
By the way, go back to Sokovia.
Yeah.
Oh wait. You know, it's like this whole.
How about the raft?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which home do you want? The one that's been flattened by Ultron, or the one under the sea, girl? Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you can't do it. So the way they executed
Crab pops up under the sea.
Under the sea, a criminal will be under the water. Everything's wetter. Scarlet and me. You know, it's like you can't do that. So I understand where that sort of thing. Civil War, I'm sure. I don't want them to. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be places where they will. Maybe at the end of this next Avengers film, Thanos will be like, "Look, this is the Accords now." Yeah. If Thanos shows up again, or whoever, you know, and they really clarify it, because, again, I think Rogers is right and partly right. Yeah. But again, if he had come back, dealt with the consequences of what he did with Bucky,
Yeah.
I'm 90% certain they would all be living at the compound okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
They would amend the Accords. You know, they still may not like them, but they've got the public's trust.
yeah, you know what I mean?
And they're
Like,
all kind of like, okay.
the only reason he went rogue was to deal with Zemo.
Yeah.
And they dealt with Zemo. Just go back.
Yeah.
I understand because they fled.
Yeah.
And also he broke
They're now,
everyone.
like,
And because he
criminals.
broke everyone out of... You know, we didn't see it, but both Scott and Jeremy Renner, both Clint and Scott,
Yeah. They went home.
plead deals.
They pled deals, you know.
Falcon can just plead... I don't know. He's... No, I'm not going there. But, you know, there are ways... They can all... Yeah, I'm sure they can fix it.
I see what you mean. And it's just... I mean, I'm pretty sure of the 3 people who are listening right now, or 1.5.
Me and
Just,
Anton.
no, just the one.
Yeah.
Paris, I'm saying this to you now, and when you rewatch it again, because I've already turned off.
When I'm re-listening to
but,
make sure everything works properly.
Like, if there's people out there that just completely disagree with me, and
Hi,
you're
Dad, if you're in the room.
and they're like, you've got a biased view,
Yeah.
tell me. Like, I really want to hear
Absolutely,
the other side.
yeah,
But
hear
I
the
just
other
think, without getting too in depth with the characters, and you just look at it, and you can call a spade, Steve Rogers came out of this movie as a hypocrite, and it's just a shame because he was actually one of my favorite Marvel superheroes.
All right.
You know, he still is. Don't get me wrong. But it's just a bit of a shame for me.
Sure. Cool. My film was the completely opposite side of overrating films.
Yeah.
Interstellar.
I know. Yeah. I know.
Christopher Nolan.
I
I love Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Love The Prestige. Love the Dark Knight trilogy. Love Inception. Haven't seen Dunkirk. Interstellar.
Harry's disappointed.
And Memento. I've seen Memento. That's really good as well. Christopher Nolan. Interstellar.
I've seen Memento as well, but if you ask some people, that's like the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah, I know. Interstellar. Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
I love the first.
Oh, Dallas Buyers Club.
That's what the Do you know what I was trying to say before?
Well,
So this is gonna
That's the Leto thing.
do you know,
Sorry,
the
it's
Jared
another
Leto Matthew McConaughey film. I tried saying Bryce Dallas Howard. In my head, I'm like Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Bryce Dallas Howard. Anyways, I got Jurassic World in my head. What was I talking about? Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway.
All right.
And Matt Damon's even in it.
Yep.
But Interstellar, great movie, great drama.
Yep.
Right up until he gets in that damn fucking bookcase.
Last 20 minutes.
I hate the last 20 minutes of Interstellar.
Yep.
What? like
He's like a little spike.
I know. It was a really cool drama. You know, the way time works and the way, they kept the guy on the ship while the two of them went out and they came back and he was old. And you know, the whole reason of time, how that works.
Relativity.
Exactly. That is brilliant. But then he was in a bookshelf. And he was pushing books out of the way for his daughter to pick them up because he was in the past.
Yeah.
What?
What?
I haven't rewatched it since I saw it in theaters in 2014.
Yeah.
If I rewatch it, I may have a better feeling about it. But I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to find another film where I can talk about overratedness because I need to rewatch Interstellar, I think, before I can truly break it down and say it's overrated in my opinion because I like to think Hunger Games is overrated, but that's because I saw it like 12 times in theaters because I can't say
That warps your view on films.
It does. Once you get lots and lots.
And like, once you think about a theater run, that's only like 2 months max.
Yeah.
You know,
I saw it.
You saw it 12 times.
It wasn't 12. It was 7 times. I say 12 because it sounds funnier. Okay. 7. That's still a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, no. How many times did you see Greatest Showman?
6.
That's
different. It's a musical. It makes it different. It does.
Pizza, Katniss. That'd be a shit musical. That bad lip reading thing they do.
Yeah.
They redo that.
Greatest Showman's a different case entirely.
Yes,
because it's going to happen with Mamma Mia this year. I'm going to go see that 5 times probably, at the least.
And you're not going to watch Solo.
I'm not going to watch Solo. I can find Darth Maul on the interweb. Spoilers.
Spoilers, by the way. Sorry.
Anyways, yeah.
But no, I just wasn't overly fussed with the way the film went from a dramatic telling to almost a sci-fi. And it felt very forced.
Yep.
The sort of like merging with your brain. Because And Inception really messes with a lot of people. Prestige really messes with people. This felt like...
Memento.
Yeah, Memento does as well. But this felt like someone trying to be Christopher Nolan.
Ah, yeah.
It didn't feel like Christopher
That's
Nolan.
your problem with it.
Yeah, it felt like someone was
It
trying
wasn't authentic Nolan.
Yeah, it felt like someone was trying to pull a Nolan twist.
He pulled a Midnight Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. Midnight Lama Lama Lama. Yeah.
He's Midnight Shyamalan.
Sounds like a dance you do at midnight. Sweetie, can't have my porridge. Go do my Midnight Shyamalan.
Yeah. It wasn't authentic Nolan for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, it just felt very forced, and it felt quite rushed.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, because they...
when you phrase it like the last 20 minutes, it really does make it sound rushed.
But, because up until that point, the bookshelf stuff, you kind of, not forget about, but you just sort of feel like maybe the house is haunted. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you get to this thing, and then in like 20 minutes, it tries to explain it all, and how that ties in somehow with the thing.
If
and
you
how
understood it, would you be as upset?
Probably not, but
Yeah.
I feel like there's this element of my heart that still hurts from being upset in the first place.
Yeah. So, essentially, you're upset because you didn't get it.
I'm upset because I'm upset because it changed the way the film felt.
Yeah, okay.
It went from like a dramatic astronaut. You know, there's that scene of him where he's seeing his daughter and his son all growing up in the video, and he's crying. Yeah, it felt
And then the last minutes were like they're like, let's go somewhere else with this.
Yeah, because it felt like a dramatic astronaut story about, you know, there's a whole scientific side of it. Yeah. But it went from scientific drama to like sci-fi completely because he's floating in a fucking bookshelf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just felt like the genre flipped.
Yes.
With the twist. You know, it'll be like, because Inception and Memento and Prestige, they kind of, Prestige is the exception, I think. They stay within their realm.
Yes.
You know, these films, the reveal is, you know, it feels within that world, but going completely sci-fi just didn't feel like what the rest of Interstellar was establishing.
Yeah, because it felt, despite the space and the travel and the weird planet thing, it all felt very grounded in reality.
Yeah, it still felt very grounded.
It was like the whole planet thing. It's like, yeah, I could see time passing differently based on relative things.
Damon going crazy by being by himself and things like that. Yeah.
And you know, even the need just to go out into space. Just the essential reason why the whole plot starts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah. Like that. That's grounded in reality, you know, and it's possibly a future for us.
Yeah, exactly. But then it just but this whole emotional
the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, this whole emotional core about him stalking his daughter in a bookshelf for 30 years. I don't know what happened. I don't remember it as well as I should. But it just felt like it completely fell on its head. And I remember just being grumpy for the last 20 minutes. But, you know, I don't know. Like I said, it just felt like another movie came in. Yeah. And it just sort of changed the genre, and it changed the way I felt about the end of the film. Yeah. And overall, like I said, I haven't seen it since. I own it at home, but I just haven't watched it.
Do you know another overrated film?
Do I know another overrated film?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
What is it?
The Star Wars trilogy.
All 8 of them?
No, there's 3 of the 8 of them. I'm just calling them the Star Wars trilogy.
The original ones?
No. Out of the 8, there's 3 of them.
That are overrated.
And I'm just Frankenstein a trilogy that I'm calling
the overrated.
The overrated trilogy.
Is it the first one from each franchise?
No. There's nothing from the prequels. Because people like to shit on them all the time. So how can they ever be overrated?
A New Hope, The Force Awakens, and Rogue One?
No.
How many did I get?
You got 2.
New Hope, Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Actually, no. Actually...
I like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, but isn't it been quite middled? And there's like, not many people like it?
What, Last Jedi?
Yeah.
No, it's not overrated. It is completely mixed.
Okay, then I've got 2.
The Force Awakens is overrated, do you think?
I've got 2. I've got Force Awakens and A New Hope. And the thing is that they're scarily similar to each other in storyline and narrative. I mean, I'm not going to go too much deep into it like I did with Civil War because I know half our viewers clicked off when I started on my rant.
And also Star Wars is back, so they're probably clicking off again. Woohoo! Somehow we're at -1.
I guess this falls more and less into the whole, less into the overrated thing and more into the I just didn't get it realm of, you know, the 2 things that we're quantifying here.
But it's just from a certain point of view.
That's a Star Wars reference, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what Obi-Wan said about lying to Luke in Return of the Jedi. I said was true.
I didn't get A New Hope first off, and maybe it's simply because it was before my time, and I just found it incredibly boring. Just like
What didn't you get about it, or did you just find it boring?
I just found it boring, and I just thought, with all the praise that was heaped upon it,
Yeah.
and just looking at it from fresh young eyes, I was like, and maybe it's just a byproduct of.
Well, it's because every other
I
sci-fi
was
film
just like-
since has been that.
I was just like, I've seen this before, and it's a really simple narrative.
Well, when it came out, it wasn't. I feel like that's the difference.
Yeah, I
again,
mean, and that's
yeah.
the thing. As I said, I was not around when it came out, and it doesn't have the impact that I had.
You teenagers and your
know,
your
but-
iPhones and your
I know,
dabs.
but I get Empire Strikes Back. It's one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
I get Return of the Jedi. I just get New Hope.
Alright.
And on the second side of that, Force Awakens, and this I guess just leans more into overhype.
Sure.
It's just
You got millions of people wanting to see the same film.
it was good,
Mhm.
you know, and I was alright with it. I didn't like Rey. I never liked Rey.
Wow.
I know.
Girl hater.
I like Rose.
Wow. That movie's crap. Doesn't matter what you say about Star Wars, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. Okay. I didn't like Rey, and I just think that she kind of just went against the grain. I mean, and that's the point. Maybe I'm just missing the point.
Yeah, yeah.
But she just kind of went against the grain of what I thought was a good hero.
Sure.
Like, a good hero earns their stripes. A good hero goes through things.
She wants to go back to
Rey,
Jakku.
like,
Just let her go.
Rey has a hard childhood, yeah, but she seems to be on top of it pretty bloody well. And sure, like, she's got no emotional comfort, and yeah, that's sad. But it's
How do
never,
you not know they have AA meetings on Jakku?
But that's never fully explored enough for me to really feel for her.
Yeah.
And then this is the internet kind of coming out with the whole Force stuff, and she just gets her power straight away, and that just kind of annoys me.
That annoys me in a sense, but again, like we've had this conversation before. I've like made up
That's the theory. When there's less people using the Force, there's
Yeah.
more accessibility for the few
exactly.
people
Yeah,
that do.
I made up a theory.
Yeah.
That the less people trying to connect to the Force,
There's more for it.
there's more for them to take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a bank account.
Exactly.
Like
Pretty
100 people using the bank account, you're not going to get a lot of money.
That's how many people
But
grab-
if there's only 2 people using the
It's
bank
like
account,
cake. You know, if
nice,
two,
that's even better than mine.
it's like cake. If there's 2 people in one big cake, everyone gets more cake. If there's more people, there's less cake for people.
Yes.
And yet there's all those Jedi's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
But
why.
those seem pretty powerful, those Jedi's.
Yeah, but they train.
Maybe there was just more cake then.
But no, but they. You're just like, I bought more cake. But they train from young pet. You know how like you have to be really young,
Yeah.
and you have to have a midichlorian count.
Yeah.
If you have like no midichlorian
count.
Chlorine count.
Yeah.
but but that's what I'm thinking. Like there were so many at a very young age.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely they get. Yeah, some of those Qui-Gon looks like an old man.
Maybe because he is an old man.
That's what I mean. Like they trained all their
Yeah.
life just to be a Jedi Master, to be chopped in half.
Yeah.
But like
Fly
with-
swatting.
yeah.
But
But Ray,
I see what you mean.
Ray was already a skilled fighter. I
Yeah.
think she had to defend
oh,
herself
she
on
had the
Jakku.
stick thing. I totally get that. Yeah.
But she could once she tapped into the Force, it's like someone calling a helpline when no one else is. You know what I mean? Like the Force is the helpline, no one's calling, and then suddenly like, hello, oh you want to talk to me? Sure, I'll give you all. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like
okay, yeah, I see what
no
you
one's
mean.
in it.
Yeah.
It's like it's
You
suddenly.
had to reenact it for me to
But
get it. But I got it.
suddenly the Force.
Just opened up.
Suddenly someone's trying to tap into the Force.
Yeah.
And like all of it's going to them.
And that's the thing that just doesn't work for me. Is that Anakin Skywalker, he was fast, he had the reflexes, he could do pod racing that no other human could do.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. She had like no force inclinations.
Right.
And then she was in the chair. And Kylo Ren's like, my god, I can't get into your mind.
You're afraid you're not going to be like Vader.
Yeah. She got into his mind and she got into James Bond's mind. And then
That's
she
right.
walked off.
Yeah.
And so I just felt her powers were unearned. I
guess
didn't connect enough with her.
Anakin maybe got it at a younger age.
Yeah, maybe there's that. But Rey aside, I just thought the movie was too slow. I like the other characters, don't get me wrong, but for me it was just not enough to offset just my personal pacing problems with the film.
Sure.
And my problem with the titular character, which a lot of the movie revolved around.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it was okay.
My thing with the overrating and underrating of Star Wars, you've got like 40 million people watching Star Wars now.
Yeah.
Everyone wants it to be how they imagine.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying
yeah.
and some people just get too
Yeah, absolutely. Into it.
into it. And
Exhibit A, like 3 minutes ago, I started my rant.
Yeah. But there are religions. There are Jedi Sunday
I'm
morning.
not quite there yet.
Sunday morning
I'm earning my stripes. I'm not quite there yet.
But Sunday mornings.
I've still got to send a couple of death threats. Sorry, Rose,
Sunday morning
actress.
at 10
I
o'clock.
hope you.
Yeah, Kelly Matran. We talked about it last week, but like Jake Lloyd and Kelly Matran both featured death threats for playing a bloody character.
I know.
There are religions Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Instead of going to church, they go to Jedi training class.
Yeah.
And it's a movie. Deep down, it's still a movie. So these people who are imagining what they want from these characters, they want Poe and Finn to make a baby or whatever they want. I don't know what's going on. And then they watch Last Jedi and they're not even on a screen that much together.
Yeah.
They get disappointed, so they hate the whole movie without then taking a step back and going, let me just watch the movie.
Yeah.
But like, let me just watch the movie without my agendas and enjoy it.
But
so.
the funny thing on the opposite end of that is sometimes it's healthy just to really get into a film. You know, but just don't go too much with it. Don't go overboard with it.
And then don't threaten people.
Yeah, don't threaten people. That's all we got.
What we're reading?
Like,
oh shit!
I'd like to send out an applause out there to my friends at Fox for being massive sellouts. No.
Disney finally purchased Fox.
Yep.
Yay.
Disney is one step closer to owning the Monopoly board. That is just the movie thing.
Movie business.
As I said before, that next on the purchasing list is Paramount's Mountain. They're just going to move that behind the Disney Castle. What's the Fox sign?
It's that big 20th Century Fox.
Oh,
that big building thing.
Yeah. Then we should make a collage of just first and foremost in the center is the Disney Castle.
Yeah.
We've got the Paramount out the back. We've got the moon fishing at the thing. We've got the boy fishing. We've got lamp hopping around the place. You know, just because that's
laps.
Yeah. And you just got Fox somewhere. You just got a Fox. There you go.
21st Century Fox.
Yeah, 21 Foxes. That's what I'm naming my band. But I mean, it's what's going to happen. Disney's just going to take over piece by piece.
Yep.
Because Avengers Infinity War is made $2 billion at the box office.
Yep.
It probably won't catch Force Awakens. It'll probably be out by like maybe 20 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's two movies that in the past 3 years have passed $2 billion.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the next Avengers gets $2 billion.
You look at the billion-dollar movies from the past few years. Pretty much Disney.
Yeah. So
Star Wars.
Good job,
Marvel,
Fox,
Disney.
for selling out.
Good job, Disney, for owning half the world.
Yep.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
But yeah, just a little shout out there.
Real quick before we finish up, what we read when you weren't listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you read?
I didn't read anything. I watched Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
I just sold like 500 tickets to that.
But none of them were me.
No.
My quick review is honestly, if you've seen the other Jurassic Park films, you've seen this one.
That's the general tone I've gotten from it.
Yep.
But
it doesn't necessarily mean I didn't enjoy it.
There's actually a funny moment.
I enjoyed
it. This movie's just scary for me. It's going to be ingrained with one of the scariest moments of my life. Okay, so picture this.
Oh, is this the noises?
It's a regular day at work, okay? Like, I'm getting popcorn, printing out tickets, smiling, like, hey, how can I help you?
I'm happy to work here.
I go back to the stock, or I go to the little back where we keep the stock, and I'm like, oh, the Maltesers need changing. So I was just like, I went back, and we've got this, like, little behind-the-counter kind of room where we do a lot of stuff. And just Maltesers and whatnot, and I fixed them up a little bit, and I'm like, oh, there's some stock that we don't got. I'm going back to the stock room. Got to get a couple of things. Walking, admiring my workplace, just enjoying it, toddling, do. And the stock place is like, you know how there's doors at the front of a theater?
Yeah.
And you open them, and like we don't know where it goes, but if you work at the cinema, you do.
Yeah.
Well, there's an area like that, and 3 of them connect to this one place,
right,
where we keep the stock. Anyways, I'm there, and it's the second night Jurassic World has been playing, and I grab the popcorn and the popcorn cartons and all the stuff that we need. And I'm walking back, and I'm pushing a trolley, and then just out of nowhere, in the 3 different showings of Jurassic World that happened, 3 different dinosaurs just screamed. Scared the living bejesus.
You're pushing your cart, and it's like, ah! It's like, what the hell? So it wasn't the same time in the movie, it's just 3 different parts of the movie?
No, 3 different showings.
So you've got different, like, dinosaur screams.
Different dinosaur screams. I think maybe my mind might be playing tricks on me. Definitely 2. I'm pretty sure it's 3 though. I heard 3 different dinosaurs. Just.
I pictured you cowering in the corner like.
I jumped. You know, nothing too drastic. I
God.
jumped and I.
Nothing too Jurassic.
Oh, funny. I freaked out a little bit, but I was just like, "What are the odds?"
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
3 different showings, and I just heard 2, almost probably definitely 3 dinosaur screams.
That's hilarious.
So no matter what this movie,
You'll
I
be
see
forever
it,
scarred
it's
by
just-
the screams.
it's a scary movie for me.
We should keep this. We should keep this segment retails. Where you retail.
Retails.
Retails. Where
Yeah.
you do retelling of your retail experiences.
Bonus clip.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
What are we at? An hour 20? That's enough. No one's listening now. I haven't done anything. That's actually a lie. I did a video. There's. What did I do before? Oh, I sung Johnny Be Good a few weeks back. Go check that out. It was good. Last week I talked about the death of XXX Tentacion and how your art and your artistry impacts your legacy. I quite enjoyed that video. I like talking about how Kevin Spacey and Bill Cosby, how I like them as performers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like their personal lives.
Yep.
But XXX Tentacion had a quite interesting conversation around how we should treat his death.
Yep.
Do we talk shit because he beat up his wife, or do we praise him for his rap?
Yep. Because he died.
Or do we do both? What do we
It's
do?
like it's almost like a ledger thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Does
So
death glorify the image that's left behind?
Absolutely.
Do we just glorify people because they died tragically,
Yeah.
or do we just not acknowledge them as the people that they were?
because these people pioneered elements of their craft, but personally they weren't good people. So how do we respond to that? So yeah, I did a video on that. Go check that out. It's on Sir Brady. This week, I don't know, maybe a video. I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
I'm on holiday. I've got my
Yay.
arms up, my feet up.
Yep.
But if there's a video coming up, you'll be the first to know.
Yes.
Me, who's listening to this back. Gahan,
Yes.
Thank you for joining me as always.
Thank you. I like being here.
that's good.
I slipped into my Kiwi.
Except it's about I like being here. Don't forget to give us a like, comment, share, subscribe to the Super 80 Podcast on YouTube. One day there'll be a website up. I'm currently developing a website, and that'll be a secondary place to find these links.
Yep.
And if I bother to pay for SoundCloud, I might start uploading it there again. But until then, just catch us here on YouTube.
Yep. Congratulations to you, Paris, who's only made it this far.
It's only the only one who's made it to the end.
I gave up halfway through my Civil War, and I'm like, whoa, this is even too much for me.
Yeah, what a nerd.
I know, too much.
It's so stupid. I've got a fandom. I've got fans. I'm real defensive now. I'm just like, no. Yeah.
If I had SoundCloud.
All right.
Sorry, man.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and just have a good day.
Yeah, have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.